So the Mate X is a really heavy bike. It's about 20 to 30 kilos. And one of the questions I get asked a lot is about bike maintenance stands, like what stand am I using, because not all of them are going to be able to carry that weight. And not only that, but the Mate X has a really weird frame, so you can't just clamp it like a normal bike. So in this video, I'm going to show you what I use, plus how I clamp my bike to it, and why you might want to consider getting a maintenance stand. So in order to do this video, I'm not going to do this in the studio. We're actually going to go and get the bike. And you can see like my tiny space for shooting YouTube videos there. Recently, I've had surgery, which, you know, I can now walk again after a few months, but grab this. Problem I have currently is that going up and down stairs is not so easy. So welcome to my basement where my bike lives. Actually, I should probably put this down. Here's the beast. Yeah. Okay, what I'm going to do is put it over here because it might be a bit easier. Okay, and here it is. You can probably tell from the blue color that this is a Park Tools stand. Now, just unfold this so you guys can, one, see it, and secondly, I can come and talk to you on camera. So the first thing I want to say is that you don't necessarily need one of these stands. In fact, my bike, when I first started doing bits to it, I just turned it upside down and worked on the bike that way. So yeah, that's always an option. What I will say is that once you've used one of these stands, you realize just how much you were missing out on, because actually, bike stand makes the maintenance a lot easier, and I'll show you why. So you have different sections, which means that I can essentially hook the bike up really high like this, which means that I can work on the bike without having to crouch down in funny places. You can also rotate this if you want to turn the bike around. But I think one of the biggest things for me with using a stand is that the Mate X has a giant screen on the bike, and every time you want to turn that over to work on it, you have to take the screen off. So this is kind of a bit lazy of me, but now I don't have to do that when I'm using one of these stands. So let me show you the stand. So this is actually the Park Tools 10.3, PCS 10.3, really catchy name. And there is a cheaper version of this, which is the PCS 9.3. Essentially the difference is two things. One, you've got a little tool tray here so you can stick your Allen keys or screwdrivers in there. And secondly, this mechanism here for clamping is a little bit easier on the 10.3, but essentially they do the same thing, both are adequate, and they will hold the Mate X. I will leave a link to both of these in the description below if you want to pick one of these up. But what I will say is that this is pretty expensive. There are cheaper options out there, and I'll try and group together some of those that I've seen posted in various forums that people are using, and I will stick those in the description below as well if you want to get something a little bit cheaper than this one. So you might be wondering then, if there are cheaper options, why is it that I went with the Park Tools stand? Well, there's a couple of reasons for that. Amazon products are not that readily available in Switzerland. We can get some things, but not very many things. But essentially, Park Tools is such an established brand name, you can pick those up everywhere. Secondly, let me pick you up again. This clamp is pretty substantial, so there's very little risk of your bike coming off of this, and I really need that because when I usually do some maintenance work on the bike, I don't do it down here in the basement. I tend to take it upstairs and do it in the apartment, and as it's a rented apartment with nice old parquet wood flooring, I don't really want to ruin that by dropping the bike on there. So peace of mind, I knew that this will hold. It's very, very sturdy. I don't know what the other bike stands are like, but you know, anyone got any other experiences with any other stands, let me know in the comments below and I'll go and check those out as well. So remember, this is 30 kilos, so if you can't pick this up yourself, please make sure that you get someone to help you with it. Essentially the clamp goes down and then you can tighten this as you need it. Let's move this over here a little bit. that's what the bike looks like when it's on there. You have free movement of both wheels, you can get to the brakes and everything else as well, and that is not going anywhere. That's really sturdy. I've used this with both bikes. This bike is a little bit less heavy because I've changed so many pieces on there to make it lighter weight. The black bike, I haven't changed as much on there. It does have the rear rack and the metal fenders, so it does make it a bit of a heavier bike, but this holds it completely fine. I could leave that there all day. In fact, I think when I did the black bike, I actually left it on the stand for 2 weeks whilst I was doing various bits to it as well. One of the other things I wanted to mention is that this stand has like a V shape at the bottom, as you can see here, and this makes it take up a little bit less room in my apartment upstairs. I think some of the other stands are almost like a tripod, so it goes out in every direction, which I can't really fit in my apartment along with the bike and then get around each side of the bike. So this was like perfect for me. If you have the space, you have a garage, you know, maybe that will work for you, no problem. So there is one other thing I wanted to show you about the stand, which I'm just gonna take the bike off so that you guys can see this. Okay, so the other thing about this stand is that it's very quick to fold up. And this is the size of it when it's folded up. This is extremely useful for me, being in this tiny apartment space and not having much floor space. It just kind of sits in the corner there. So like I said at the beginning of the video, you don't actually need a maintenance stand. You can do this without one. It just makes it a hell of a lot easier if you are using one. There's a lot less risk of damaging the bike or damaging yourself or the floor if you're doing it in your apartment like I am. And so all that's left to say is that that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it was useful. If you did find it useful, hit that thumbs up button. Let me know in the comments what you want me to cover on this bike in another video, and I will do that in the future as well. And if you want to make sure that you're around for that, please subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you know when that video is up and running. Thank you for watching once again, and as always, stay safe, and I will see you guys in the next video.